your main event. Introducing the hosts of Wrestling with Freddie, Jeff Dye, and Freddie Prinze Jr.
What's up, everybody? Welcome to the show from Los Angeles all the way to Sydney, Australia, and our producer on the East Coast in North Carolina. We're coming globally. It's Wrestling with Friends, and it starts right now. Jeff, you're looking sharp as a tack, my friend. What's going on? Why are you looking so good today?
Had a big week, I wanted to dress up. Had a big week.
Nice. Less than 5 minutes ago, I'm in Australia, everybody, making the new I Know What You Did Last Summer movie, and I killed a spider, and I'm not exaggerating, as big as my hand. Now, I don't have the biggest hands. It's about as big as my face, but that's how friggin' big this thing was. My heart is still racing. I almost had a heart attack. I thought I was going to die. I could have been in there trying to use the restroom. It could have jumped and attacked me. I would have never seen it. I saw it. I'm telling you, dude, I killed it with a binder that my script is in. I will never use that binder again. Like, that's how gross the side of the binder was. It splat. It was, you were joking before the show, like, how did it get in? It walked through the front door because it's too big to get through anything else.
But they're gonna get smarter. They're gonna start holding a baby. Like, you can't kill me if I'm holding a baby. Like,
don't say that, dude. I'm having a freaking heart attack on air, man. Don't say that. It's gonna come in with a hostage next time.
Yeah, exactly. Got a knife. You go, come on, try to get me with that binder again.
Are guns legal in Australia? I need a spider rifle. Jesus Christ. I'm buying one right after the show. I'm buying a gun, Jeff. Jesus, wrestling was awesome. We can get more into Australia in our weeks on the Unsanctioned Thursday. Today, on today's episode, we're going to get into AEW Full Gear. If we could play some November Rain right now, I'd play it for you. No one wants to hear that lovely olive oil voice I have. And I don't mean olive oil like smooth. I mean olive oil, the cartoon character that had the horrible voice back in the day.
Popeye reference.
Yeah, everybody loves Popeye, right? Everybody listening right now is like, who's Popeye? What the hell? What are you talking about? Just Google it. All right, leave me alone. We have a ton of pay-per-view they're both pay-per-views and premium live events over the next 2 weeks. This week, we're going to start you off with AEW's Full Gear. There was an awesome video package to November Rain. If you want to check it out, it's on YouTube. You guys can check it out. It's pretty cool. I like when people basically use a whole song instead of just like a 1 minute thing, but they give you like an entire music video. I like that crap a lot. I watch that stuff on YouTube. I thought they did a good job with this, and they were able to tell pretty much everybody's story that's been going on for the last 4 weeks or so to a little Axl Rose and Slash, by the way, owner of hundreds of reptiles. My wife and I used to be donors at the LA Zoo, and Slash donated like 82 reptiles and a few $1 million to build the entire reptile center there that's at the LA Zoo. And if you ever want to see a giant salamander, it looks like a big spade shovel. That's Slash's giant salamander, and it's at the LA Zoo. You should check it out. Anyway, AEW Full Gear. Here we go. This is a prediction show, people. So get your wallets ready. Get your I was going to say dating app, but you're not dating. Your gambling app. Get your gambling apps ready. And if you're dating, date too. Make sure she likes wrestling. And if not, just make sure she's chill and not one of those jerks that's like, you like wrestling? Why? Why do you like wrestling? Why do you like reality shows? We don't do that to you, so just leave us alone. All right, first up, we got MJF versus Roderick Strong. Now, he's thrown like an odd, unique challenge out there where multiple people have to win in order for Adam to win. Roderick Strong was the one who got the win. He's the one that's earned the shot to face MJF first, even though Adam Cole wants to get his hands on him, his Tom Cruise looking hands on him. But it's not going to happen. Roderick Strong is going to be in there first. Roderick Strong, if you don't know him, if you're not like an avid wrestling watcher like us, is friggin' amazing in the ring. His work in there is top shelf. Their match is going to be amazing. Both guys are super, super talented. You'll let MJF do most of the heavy lifting on the microphone because nobody's better at it than he is. But to me, this is an easy win. I have MJF going over Roderick Strong because the story, Jeff, is MJF versus Adam Cole. And if he's just losing all the way up there, I might be a different story. I'm not saying it would be bad. I'm sure he'd figure out a cool way to tell it, but I don't see that bullshit happening. I see a win for Maxwell Jacob Friedman. And so does our producer, Alex. Jeff, do you have the guts to go with Roderick Strong, or are you going to use your brains?
I would never go with Roderick Strong over MJF. I wouldn't pick anyone over MJF. They have been trying to work this Roderick Strong thing for longer than, the bloodline's been around. Roderick Strong's been wearing a neck brace and coming in on wheelchairs and hunting for some sort of MJF storyline since long, long, long ago. But I still don't think that this is going to be the time he wins. I think MJF is a no-brainer pick for this.
If Roderick Strong was here right now, he'd yell, Jeff! Freddie! I'm going to win this damn match. No, we disagree.
No, he won't.
Don't yell at us, Roderick. All right, here we go. Jay White versus Hangman Page. This is the hardest match to pick for me. I genuinely have to just go with my gut on this one, like an instinct. I can't sort of logically break down who's going to win this match because Adam Hangman Page has lost a lot since he came back and had his dealings with Swerve Strickland, and he's been putting guys over a lot. So my brain says, well, he's due to get put over since he's been putting guys over. He's due for a win. And then they give him Jay White, who's also taken some losses and also had some wins, and he has wins over Hangman Page. So I go, well, maybe it's time to put some shine on Jay White on the Switchblade and give him a push to the top. But he does have an advantage over Hangman Page in the win-loss record. So maybe it's time for Adam Page or Hangman Page to get the win. This is starting to sound like that movie, The Princess Bride, where they're arguing over the poison drink. And he's like, it would make no sense for me to take the drink that was in front of me because clearly you would have placed the drink in front of me. But I cannot drink the drink in front of you because you would have known that I put the drink in front of you. And then you would have switched it with the drink that is in front of me. So this is how I feel with Hangman Page and Switchblade. That said, I'm down under right now. I'm in Australia. It's very close to New Zealand. There's a lot of Australian wrestlers. We got Bronson Reed in the WWE. He's from down under. And we got Jay White from down this way too. I think he's New Zealand, not Australia. But still, I'm close enough that I'm going with the hometown hero. He's going to be so mad if he hears this. He's probably be like, I'm not from Sydney, you bastard. I'm sorry, man. I don't know where everybody's from. But I'm going with the Switchblade. I'm going with Jay White. What about you, Jeff?
I love Jay White. And I love Adam Hangman Page. Hangman Adam Page. I don't really know this storyline well enough to make a confident choice. I probably would be smart to go with anything Alex picks, but I just love Hangman, so I'm going to go with Hangman. That's who I'm picking.
The buckshot lariat stops with Jeff Dye, and our producer also picks Jay White, Alex. So those of you who've been keeping track, Alex might even be in the lead, so you may want to go with him on these picks, or you may say, Jeff and Freddie are due. They're due. So we don't know on this one. This was the hardest match for me.
These boys have been killing spiders the size of hands for years. This is normal to them.
As soon as you said that, I legit started looking all over the room above me in case they jump in above. Like it was, and I thought for sure it's not going to happen to me. I'm in a nice house. They've got bug spray. I saw a big old roach that was dead yesterday, but it was dead because they spray. So I'm like, there won't be any spider. Biggest spider I've ever seen. Horrible. It's been the worst day of my life. Worse than when I lost my father. That's how bad this day was. All right, dude. The easiest match of the night is Swerve Strickland versus Bobby Lashley. The biggest son of a bitch that was ever born, the baddest dude ever. He was in the army. He had real fights. He knows how to wrestle. He knows how to do everything. He's such a friggin' stud. I love Swerve Strickland. He's a 2-time guest on this show, a former world champion. But Swerve, when MVP gives you a business card, you say yes. You say, even if Prince Nana's awesome, you go, can I please bring Prince Nana with me? He used to wrestle. You don't say no. You don't say hell no. And you don't start a fight, man. You don't start a fight with Bobby Lashley. Are you crazy? I saw him one time and wanted to say hi, but he looked like he was in a bad mood. And so he was so scary looking. I was like, you know what? I'm not even going to introduce myself, even though we have mutual friends. He just seems like he's in a bad mood and doesn't want to talk. That's how badass Bobby Lashley is. So I'm picking Bobby Lashley all day long. The Hurt Business is fresh and new. I understand there's going to be some bias there, but this is going to be the best storyline that AEW has. They have one of the best wrestlers in the world with Bobby Lashley. They have Paul Heyman is not an active manager right now. So let me preface by saying that. But the best manager in the game right now is MVP. His mic work, his ability to put guys over and talk big about guys and be a threat for dudes that don't need to talk on the microphone is second to none. If Heyman was around, Heyman would obviously be number one. Okay. That dude is like, he could be in movies if he wanted to be. But he's awesome, MVP. Don Callis is doing a great job too. Don Callis is right up there. But MVP is the best manager in the game right now. They don't call it the Hurt Business now. They call it the Hurt Syndicate. I got to get that right. The Hurt Syndicate has a chance to be the best faction if they get the right guys. I love Bobby Lashley so friggin' much, man, and I'm so glad to see him wrestling. I was pissed when he wasn't doing anything on WWE like a lot of fans were. So I've got Bobby Lashley all day. And eventually this storyline has to move towards a world title. I don't know how they get there as the stories are laying out right now, but this guy without gold around his waist just looks naked. And we don't allow nudity on television unless it's Skinamax, baby. Jeff, who do you pick?
I could give you my pick, but I'm going to make you listen to some bullshit before we start.
No, I love bullshit. Hit me.
I got to say, one thing people should hold on to is that no matter how things feel in your life right now, just know how dramatic things can change. You know, like one day you feel like a loser. Just wait it out. Just know that things can change. You can be on the top of the mountain. You know what I'm saying? Like Jay White was literally just in anonymity, and now Jay White is this star, you know, on AEW. You have guys who are working their ways from the bottom line. I'm trying to think of some other good examples. MVP thinks his career's over. It's done. He's doing his best work, I would say, as a manager on the mic, doing his thing. There's so many ways where you're just, if you just wait and you're just persistent and you just do it, you can climb to be the top of the mountain, or at least get your flowers eventually. And I feel like when I hear these names like MVP or any of these things, I'm inspired. I'm inspired by you, MVP. I love you, buddy. And I am so happy that when I used to roll my eyes as a teenager seeing you in a WWE match, I can now go, this guy's incredible. I really like you, or I really like him. And you know, I'm 41 years old now. We're talking about how great MVP is on the mic. So that's just something I thought of. For this match, I'm going to pick Bobby Lashley because he's a beast.
Smart pick. Alex picks Bobby Lashley as well. I like what you had to say. A lot of times I've heard people say this isn't coming from my brain. A lot of times success is just outlasting everybody else.
Sure.
Because everybody else is going to give up because they've got life. They've got kids. Maybe they don't have kids, but they got rent, so they can't chase the dream. Like, they're going to give up. So you don't. And when you're the last one standing, you're the only one left to pick, and you can succeed. So just, you gotta stick with these dreams. You got to find ways, even if it can't be on the front burner, put it on the side burner, but keep the flame hot, man. Keep the flame hot always.
Tape little pictures around your house of stunning Steve Austin with his flowing blonde hair, frustrated. Tape pictures of Rocky Maivia not looking at the hard cam correctly, you know, and like, just like you find these things, like, you know, you could be that chapter of your story. Someday you could be the Rock or Stone Cold, but like, just know that it took them things to get there. Anyways, sorry,
I got too much hair to be either of those guys, but yeah. Once I lose it, I'm going to get super buff. All right, next up, this will steal the show.
Kyle Fletcher, Will Ospreay.
That's right, sir. These two men have wrestled once. It was a pretty awesome match. Oh, I know they wrestled in Japan. Don't get mad and start yelling at me. I meant for AEW. The match was amazing. Kyle had a fight with his own morality because Don Callis was like, cheat. And Kyle Fletcher was like, yo, that's my friend. I can't cheat. And he's like, come on, man. I said cheat. No, I won't cheat. And then he lost the match. And a few weeks later, he went, son of a bitch, I should have cheated. And now he's learned his lesson. Don Callis taught it well. Kyle Fletcher, another Aussie. I'm in your homeland. You already know where I'm going with this, Jeff. Kyle Fletcher shaves his head. He gets rid of the old skin, sheds his old snake skin, shows the new snake skin. Oh, there's snakes in Australia too. Jesus Christ. Snakes and spider, everything but scorpions. The one thing I'm not scared of, a scorpion. You guys don't have those, but you have every other freaking monster in the world here. Anyway, Kyle Fletcher's one of those monsters. And I know that it's weird because everybody loves Will Ospreay. You know, Freddie loves Will Ospreay more than anyone. I call him the Tom Hardy of wrestling, and I love me some Tom Hardy too. But he's losing this match, Jeff. Tom Hardy's losing, just like Bane lost in Batman, and he's losing to shaved head Kyle Fletcher. He did. He lost to Batman. I know he won the first one, but he lost. Kyle Fletcher with the victory. Let's go. Aussie, Aussie, Aussie. Oi, oi, oi. That's what they say down here, Jeff.
I like it. It's a drinking thing, isn't it?
Well, it's a drink. No, well, they drink. I mean, they like to drink, but they do that to cheer on their local sports teams like the Roosters, the Sydney Roosters.
I like that.
All right. Well, who do you pick then? You like it so much.
I just wouldn't feel right ever going against Will Ospreay.
Oh, come on.
I know. I've been talking about Will Ospreay much longer in my life than I have Kyle Fletcher. Now I know they're best friends, all this different crap, but I think Will Ospreay is the front runner and in my heart, and I think he's gonna crush him.
Well, Alex disagrees with you. He agrees with me. So I'll give you one more chance to change your mind right after I tell you.
Change my mind. That's ridiculous.
Kyle
Fletcher. Just listen to his name. Kyle Fletcher.
That's a good name.
It's a terrible name.
Come on, get out of here.
Sounds
Look,
like
it's not Will Ospreay.
Junior high with, not a wrestler. Also, Don Callis fits that rant that I just did too. Who'd have thought we'd be talking about Don Callis in 2024?
Dude, he's the man. I totally agree with you on that.
Yeah, he's just doing the work, and he's a star.
And he's cut his head wide open for his own art. That's pretty sick too.
It's pretty sweet. Yeah, no, I like Kyle Fletcher's new look, but I don't believe that he's going to beat Will Ospreay in any universe.
May giant Australian spiders raid your house in Los Angeles, Joe.
Don't put that on me. Don't you put that on me. That's ridiculous.
Next up, the AEW Tag Team Championship 4-way match. Let me just start by saying this. If Private Party loses, that is the biggest middle finger that the company could have given them with such a short, tiny title reign. And this match is such a FU match that they have no shot of winning. Well, they have a 25% chance of winning, but they don't even have to be pinned to lose the titles. It's such an FU match. If they lost, it would be just two giant middle fingers right at them. I don't see a world where they can just tell Private Party F you like that. I think they just got the belts. They haven't even gotten an opportunity really to cut an angry promo, to be pissed off at someone, to have heat with someone. Maybe there's a world where they lose and that's what gives them the anger and the juice to go after them so they can reclaim them. But I don't see that happening. I'm going with my gut and my instincts. Logic says in a 4-way, the champs aren't going to retain. But hey, Bianca Belair and Jade Cargill did. Now, granted, they also didn't in a triple threat, but I think our boys are going to win. Private Party. I get invited to the party, so that's why I say our boys. But I think they're going to win. They're going to take it. There's a lot of teams in there. I know our producer is picking the Kings of the Black Throne, which I get. I can see that, but I don't know what exactly Aleister Black's story is in AEW. That hasn't been defined clearly to me. So I don't see a necessity to put the belt around that group. So I'm sticking with Private Party, man. I'm sticking with the Young Gunners. Oh, I can't call them the Young Gunners because they have a team called the Young Guns, the young men that wrestle under the name Private Party. That's who I choose, Jeff. How about you?
I'd like to say, as a successful stand-up comedian, my special just came out. I just did Joe Rogan a couple of days ago. All the success I've been having.
Stay tuned for Unsanctioned Thursday, where we'll get into that more.
But I don't try to have a big head or expect too many things after this successful run I've been having. So that's a fun little shout out to this in honor of this match. Who do I like? The Kings of Black Throne, the Acclaimed. I want to give an honorable mention to the Outrunners. Do they not look super cool?
They actually do, dude. They're super 80s, and I really love them. I think their look is way, way cool. I just don't think they're ready to be champions yet. But I totally agree with you. Their look is awesome. Their attitude's awesome.
Love what they're doing. The Outrunners, I love. Like you said, I think it's a little soon, but they're tipping their hat to a really fun time in wrestling that you don't see many people tipping their hat to.
Totally
anymore.
Agree.
With that all being said, I like pretty much everyone. This is going to be the match of the week for me. I think as far as like after it's all said and done, I'm going to really enjoy watching this one the most, or I'm expecting it to be the best one I like. I'm going to pick Black Throne is who I think is going to win this match. Well, I think it's their time.
Well, our producer agrees with you. That puts me on the island on this one.
Mm-hmm.
But I look at that in a positive way. That just gives me the chance to break ahead once again.
I just think the big boys, they're cool. They've kind of like they've been slowly. Some guys go up, some guys go down, and these guys just slowly building in popularity and building in progress. And I think that this is going to be their match.
All right, sir. The AEW TNT Championship match. At first glance, you're going, it's an easy pick. Wait a minute. Hold on. The Elite, or no, there's a tag team called the Elite. You can't see, I'm messing everything up. The AEW Brass are the Young Bucks. The AEW Brass now is Jack Perry. So you would say they could win. But come on, we're not going to actually say that Jack Perry's going to win this match. When Garcia, I almost called him Ryan Garcia, when Daniel Garcia has just re-signed with the company, he's getting all the promos, he's doing all the talking, he's the one chasing all the time, he's the underdog, he's the John McClane. That's from the Die Hard franchise. If you guys are too young to know that, check them out. They're cool Christmas movies. Yes, they're Christmas movies. Don't argue with me. So is Lethal Weapon, by the way. So deal with that now that you're angry at me already. But Jack Perry, who's done a good job as TNT champion. I love the segment he did where he just destroyed the belt and made it his own. He wouldn't call it destroying it. He would say evolving the belt probably. But we saw it as destruction because it's a heel move. The scapegoat, all that stuff. But it's not his time. It's Daniel Garcia's time. They could make him lose. Look, anybody can lose. And anybody could win in professional wrestling. It's up to the promoter, right? But in this case, I think this was the easiest, not the easiest pick of the night, but an easy pick. It's Daniel Garcia's time. It's not Ryan Garcia's time. Ryan Garcia's time's done. He got beat down. It's now Daniel Garcia's time. He's not going to get beat down. He's going to win this match, and he's going to be your new TNT. He's going to have his first title in AEW, man. He's going to be the TNT champion, and he can be a babyface that gets beat up a lot and comes back at the end to win by all these guys that are coming to kill him. Whereas Jack Perry, I don't think can do that same thing because he's a bad guy. So he has to wrestle evil. We don't want to see him, get beat down to come back up. We just want to see him get beat down. So I've got Daniel Garcia. Our producer's got Daniel Garcia. Jeff Dye's got who?
Well, Jeff Dye is excited about this match, as Daniel Garcia has been on fire. I'm not a huge fan of small wrestlers, but Daniel Garcia is one of the exceptions. I love him. I think he's great. I think he's cool. And like I said, he's just been on fire lately. So I picked Daniel Garcia. I think this is going to be, I don't know if you mentioned it, but the fact that he's coming off of the new contract and you got to wring out all this heat while you can. And I think that there's no one hotter right now, in my opinion, or he's very hot. So I'm going to pick Daniel Garcia to crush Jack Perry.
Let's go, Daniel Garcia. Listen, don't do this match for the people. Don't do it for yourself. Don't do it for your mama. Do it for Jeff and Freddie. And do it for producer Alex. We believed in you for a long time. I believed in you back when Chris Jericho and Bryan Danielson were trying to make you pick sides. Were you going to be a sports entertainer or a professional wrestler? I had your back no matter which way you went. Don't forget that, Daniel Garcia. The only thing that used to, and I got to say this, I used to not like the dance move that Daniel would do. I used to be like, I don't think he needs, and I said this on another podcast. I said, I don't think he needs it. I think he can talk with it. His mic work is good enough that he doesn't need any other help in the ring to kind of get himself over. I have completely turned around on that. As much as I turned around on Bebe, I used to hate the Bebe at the end of an Adam Cole promo because I'm like, dude, you just, when he was in NXT, I was like, man, you just cut this amazing promo and you're going to hit it at the end with a Bebe? Like, it just didn't make sense. And then after like 3 months, I'm sitting there watching his promos going, Adam Cole, baby. And I'm saying it before he did. And he turned me on that. And Daniel Garcia has done the same thing. I will not do the dance moves because I'm 48 years old, but I will watch other men do it and I will enjoy what I see. Daniel Garcia, you're the friggin' man. I hope you win your match. All right, moving on to my most frustrating match. The AEW TBS Championship match with Mercedes Moné versus Chris Statlander, not Stratlander. I don't know who's going to win this match, and it's not for the. I feel like it's not for the right reasons. I don't know if Mercedes has been given the best of stories to tell. When I saw her in WWE, the promos were much more succinct. Is that the right word? Succinct? I don't know how to say it. Succinct. Much more concise, I guess, since I don't know how to say succinct. Much more concise. The motivation was always clear, whether she was a heel or a babyface. And since she's made it to AEW, outside of the Boston show where she debuted, I just haven't clicked with it. I'm not saying it's good or bad. If you click with it, you like it, then it's good. It's art. It's all based on how you perceive it. But from my perception, I just haven't been able to click with it. And so because of that, I don't have a huge investment in who's going to win. I want Mercedes to win the match because I want her to have a match that means something. I think the match that means more is against Britt Baker. I think and that got nipped in the bud for backstage stuff if you listen to the internet. If you don't listen to the internet, we don't know why. But that to me was the story, and this feels a little more forced, like the square peg through a round hole, so to speak. And I don't like being force fed. I like perusing the menu and seeing something that looks yummy. I don't want to hear the waiter's suggestions. I'll make my own decision, thank you. And I haven't loved what they've served so far, so I'm going to say Mercedes Moné. I hope she wins. And I hope they find a more organic story for her down the road. Does that make sense? I'm not trying to shit on anyone. It's just more, I didn't ever click with it since that first debut. I don't know why. I liked the Britt Baker stuff when that was going to start, but then that got friggin' driven off the damn road. And I don't like how they've recovered from that. That's all. That's what I'm trying to say. So I'm picking Mercedes. Alex, our lovely producer, picks Chris Statlander, not Stratlander. But Jeff, who do you pick?
This is going to be a confusing pick for me. You're going to notice some inconsistencies. Also, Freddie, you don't have to feel bad to criticize what's going on over there. I think you're not alone. I think everything you just said, people are going to agree with. Here's the thing. The Mercedes Moné, they have not executed. They have not been able to give her what she deserves and what she's capable of. We need to make it happen ASAP. Like, Mercedes Moné is too big of a star.
That's how to say it.
That's be the eye roll of the episode. Like, she's a star, and she's a star actress.
She deserves a better story.
So beautiful. She deserves a better story, 100%. Also, Chris Statlander might be the future of female wrestling, whereas I always say I want these jacked chicks. I want these girls to not just look like models. I want them to be convincing. I want them to be buff. I want them to be like the male wrestlers in that way. You got someone strong like Chris Statlander, and I'm picking Mercedes Moné because I just think Mercedes Moné is a star, and since we need to do it now, that's who I'm picking. The other inconsistency is this is the first time I'm disagreeing with our producer, Alex. So I'm going to go against what he says and pick Mercedes Moné because she's a beast, she's a star, and she deserves to win, and she deserves to have a much, much better storyline.
I mean, I'm not even joking. I could do a whole episode on Mercedes Moné. That's how much I like her. I could do a whole 30-minute episode just talking about her storylines, her matches, her wrestling, taking off, going to Japan, believing in herself, betting on herself, investing in herself, then having that investment pay off tenfold when she gets a huge like, I can talk about her all day. And you said it way better than I did in one sentence, and that's she deserves better. All right.
I love her.
The main event in the cold November rain. the AEW World Championship, the werewolf Jon Moxley, who's shed his werewolf fur and just become a total asshole and is being a jerk to all the other wrestlers in AEW and not just beating them, but trying to kill them. He tried to murder Bryan Danielson. They're throwing bags over people's heads. They're suffocating them. They're trying to choke them to death. That's murder. But it's in the ring, so it's okay. He's going against the Squozen one, freshly squeezed Orange Cassidy. And the first time you ever heard him be called the Squozen one was on this podcast. So if you ever hear somebody else say that, you make sure you let them know. Look, it's a clash of styles. It's a clash of personalities. It's a clash of body type. It's a clash of look. It's a clash of promo. Everything these guys do is the exact opposite from one another. I love their promos because one is so impassioned and violent and seething with energy. And the other's like, yeah, whatever, bro. You talk all your shit. We're still like, I just love it's there was an old acting exercise that or a technique that my old acting coach used to tell me. And he would say, the bigger someone gets in a scene, the smaller you should get in the scene, so that there's this contrasting energy and you can play off each other. If you both go big, it makes it very, very difficult to keep the audience engaged because now they have to suddenly pick. They have to pick which energy they like more. But if you're giving an opposite energy, they have to sort of be compelled to say, oh, well, why is he doing this? Why is he doing that? So if one guy's like, come on, man, let's go. And the other guy's like, yeah, man, let's go. Now I'm having to pick between two characters that I like. But if one guy's like, come on, man, let's go. And the other guy's like, let's just think about this first. Now you kind of get both sides of the perspective. And that's what these two dudes have been doing with their promos. And I love the energy. I think it's so cool. The musical number they did made me believe in every wrestler. The November Rain video made me believe in every wrestler. I was like, he could do it. Well, no, he could do it too. But Orange Cassidy ain't doing it, my man. It's not happening. Jon Moxley is not losing this title for a long, long, long time. The Death Riders are going to come in, which means Wheeler Yuta and Claudio Castagnoli are going to both come in and they're going to screw up Orange Cassidy. That's going to make Darby Allin run out and do some shit. He's going to get thrown out of the ring too. There'll be all kinds of craziness everywhere, but Jon Moxley is winning this freaking match, and I will fight anybody that says otherwise. Our producer Alex also picks Jon Moxley mainly because he didn't want the smoke. He didn't want these hands, Jeff. And he's not even. What,
I don't want the smoke either. You're not going to have to fight me because I would put Moxley against anybody right now. I just love what he's doing. I've been gushing about it for the last 5 weeks on this podcast. I just love what he's doing. I'm picking Moxley. I love the story. I'm excited to watch it. I know I said earlier that four-way might be my match of the week, but I think this might be my match of the week. I'm all in on it. I love it.
You're allowed to change your mind as much as you want. This is your podcast, bro.
2 match of the weeks.
You guys, that covers the pay-per-view. Not the premium live event, but the pay-per-view. We'll cover premium live events next week. You know what I'm talking about. By the way, thanks for listening. We appreciate you guys. And stay tuned for tomorrow's show on Unsanctioned, where we'll get into more personal stuff. Sometimes we talk a little bit outside of wrestling. If you haven't been listening or if you missed last week's episode, I gave a big update where I'm at with my wrestling promotion and trying to get that off the ground. If you did listen to it, I appreciate you listening. Stay tuned tomorrow. There won't be any wrestling updates. I told you guys I'll be a ways out from that, but we'll give you updates on life. We'll talk a little more wrestling. We'll talk some WWE. I know we talked no WWE today. Some of you will be very, very angry, but we know that you'll forgive us. We know that you're going to be okay. And you can listen to some WWE tomorrow on Unsanctioned Thursdays. On behalf of Jeff Dye, I'm Freddie Prinze Jr. Peace. This has been a production of iHeart's My Cultura Podcast Network. For more podcasts from iHeartRadio, visit the iHeartRadio app, Apple Podcasts, or wherever you listen to your favorite shows.